Alright guys, just pulled in to the campground where I'm going to be staying for the next several days. Trying to get my buck tag filled in Kentucky. Our first two trips. First one was for the opener. We just hunted basically one day. And Ethan killed that nice velvet buck that opening afternoon. But none of the rest of us killed anything. So me and Ethan and Caleb came back the following weekend. And the deer numbers just weren't there. We put in from Thursday through Saturday, full days, and really didn't have much luck at all seeing anything. The acorns weren't dropping. So I got home and got to look at my schedule. We've been pretty slow. I do mowing and landscape work. It's been really dry for the past several weeks, so it's kind of been a little slow at home. So I decided I was going to come back, try a new place. It's a little bit flatter, more agriculture, and I made the decision to come on. I'm doing it alone. Nobody else could get off work, you know, in this short of notice. So I guess I'm getting ready to set up the tent and get camp squared away. And I'll probably do some glassing from the truck tonight. Just do some scouting and see what we can see from the road, and then narrow it down from maps. From there, probably do some walking around in the morning and midday tomorrow, and planning on having the first sit tomorrow afternoon. So I think scouting's more important than just going in blind and putting up a tree stand. So I think it's worth the time to walk around and really check the place out. So stick with us. I'm going to get this tent set up and hit the roads. Alright guys, just got my tent set up. Everything's ready to go. And I was pulling my hunting clothes out of the truck to get them sprayed down for ticks. I got some stuff to treat them with, and came to the realization that my hunting clothes tote is still sitting in my basement. Probably the dumbest thing I've ever done on a hunting trip. So I'm scrambling, found a Walmart about 15 minutes away, so I guess we're going to be doing the Walmart challenge unintentionally. I shouldn't even be telling you guys this, but this is real life, and crap like this does happen if you're an idiot like me. So I'm headed to Walmart. I'm going to see what I can find to hunt in. Luckily, I put my boots in the back of the truck and not in the tote. So I guess we'll see what they've got in my size, and we'll be scouting later tonight. Alright guys, update. Walmart and Rural King have saved the day. As you can see, I have found some hunting gear. So I've got some shirts, got some pants, got me a new hat. So I think I'm ready to go. Well, good morning. I got up this morning about an hour before daylight. Decided I'd get in the truck and ride some of these roads through this WMA. I stopped at a little store, talked to some of the locals before it got daylight this morning. I didn't know what time it's going to get daylight. It broke day about 6 o'clock. First deer I saw this morning was a shooter. He was I couldn't get him on camera. I didn't even get binoculars on him. He ran out of a soybean field that was backed up right to the public. There's a pinch point of a block of timber coming out of the public that circles this soybean field. So I'm going to wait till about midday and sneak in there and see if I can't find out where they're bedding. Hopefully he's bedding on public and feeding over there at night. And if I can get in between, hopefully get a shot on him. But I'm just going to continue to ride roads until, I don't know, the next couple hours, see what I see. There was a doe and 3 fawns out here in this little cut. Those are the first deer of the trip that I've seen. I'm pretty excited about what I'm seeing. They're cutting corn right now, so it's basically an ocean of corn everywhere. But most of it's getting cut. There's not a whole lot left, and it's really dry. So I'm going to be looking for water, number one. I don't know that I'll be hunting white oaks this trip. There's so many soybeans that are ripe, and if I can find a persimmon tree, that'd be a bonus. So water, soybeans, and persimmons are probably what I'm going after. Just stick with us and we'll keep scouting this morning. Well, I've gotten in here and it's a thick piece of woods. It's in between some kind of CRP fields and a big cut cornfield. And looked down and saw a track. Been seeing a couple rubs, not a whole lot of sign in here, but looked down and found this. I have a feeling there's been a deer shot in here. What's the odds of finding somebody's spent broadhead? Alright guys, I've made it to a pinch point that's in between these 2 cornfields. It kind of comes out to a point. There's a high spot, and I saw the high spot, and I said, you know, I think that's probably the best place for a buck to bed. There was a big bed up on this high spot. You can kind of see it's just right in here. And then right off of it, the wind's coming this way. And a big, big bed right here backed up to it. I believe this buck's bedded here. The wind's coming at his back, and he's looking out over here in the open. Well, I call it open. It's really thick, but he can see from his bed all in front of him, and he can smell what's coming in behind him. So this is looking like a spot where I will probably be setting up maybe in the morning. Alright guys, down here in this creek bottom, I found something that I don't know what it is. So if you know what it is, comment below, let me know. Looks like some sort of, I don't know if it's a fruit or what this is. Let me know. I walked around this, what I thought was a pond. As you can see, it's no longer a pond. Everything up here is dried up. I did find this awesome duck blind right here on the edge of it. Looks like it's been here a few years. Be interesting to know how many ducks have been killed out of this blind. It's seen its better days. I did jump 6 or 7 does out of a private field. The public borders right up to it. I was walking around the edge, and there was 6 or 7 does standing out in the middle of this green field. It was private, so I didn't walk over there to see what was growing. But it's like 11 o'clock. They're standing out in the middle of a wide open field. I'm not quite used to that, so this daylight and dark style of hunting that I usually do, try to find a staging area before they go into these crops. It may work and it may not. I mean, if the deer are out there in the middle of the day, I'm kind of confused on that part, but I'm circling my way back to the truck. I did find a good staging area in the corner. It's a big oak flat. There's 2 or 3 fresh rubs in there, so that may be where I set up this afternoon. Just got all our stuff together. Packing in now. gonna go back to that oak flat. It butts up to that green field. Like I said this morning, I don't know what's growing in there. There were 7 or 8 deer, all does this morning. It's like 10 o'clock. They were out in that field. I'm hoping the bucks are going to use this oak flat as a staging area. The wind's not perfect. It's kind of an off wind. It's coming out of the north. I really need it out of the west. But I think it may just give us just enough where they won't smell us. So stick with us. I'm gonna hike back in here and get set up in the tree. I'll see you guys in a little bit. We just got settled into the tree. It's 3:35 right now. Found another rub. All we're setting up is just right here behind us. I feel pretty good about this spot. A lot of things are coming together right here, and there's a lot of ag over here to our north. And there's a big cornfield back here to the east. So right out here in front of us, there's a huge cut over thicket. And I felt like the deer bedded in there. There's trails going in and out of there, and kind of rubs around the perimeter. Hopefully we didn't bump anything coming in. So we're just gonna sit tight. It's about 3.5, 4 hours to dark. I'm just gonna get comfortable and take it all in. Well, guys, no go this afternoon. I saw a couple does over on private land, and they didn't come by me, so I packed out, and I'm gonna head to another spot in the morning. It's September 25th, Thursday night. No deer tonight, but we're definitely gonna eat good. I got some taters and onions and some backstrap from last year. So I'm gonna get this all fixed up, eat, take a shower, go to bed, and hit it again in the morning. Guys, that's a wrap for the morning hunt. It's been really slow. This place is just eat up with sign. The only thing I can think is they're kind of in the middle of cutting all the corn around here. There were combines around last night. I feel like this field right here was cut probably this week. I'm pretty new to the farm. I'm really new. This is the first time I've ever done it, but farm country hunting is not something I'm used to, so the sign that I found could have been made before the cut. I don't know if that really makes that much difference. Maybe you guys know. If you do, comment and let me know. You know what you've seen as far as what deer do before the cut and versus after the cut. But we're going to climb down, grab something to eat, check out a couple new spots, and I'll be heading back over similar to where I was last night. There's I jumped a couple smaller bucks in there scouting yesterday. Saw a really nice buck in there yesterday morning that was just over the line on the private land in some soybeans. So I think he's working that funnel. Those small bucks definitely were, so I'm going to head in there this afternoon. And if I don't find anything better than that today, may end up the trip. We got one more day tomorrow. It'll be the last day we hunt, so we're going to hunt tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, and then head home Sunday. So we'll be back in the tree here in a little bit, so stick with me and we'll see what happens. Well, good afternoon, guys. Saturday evening. I'm down to my last sit. Came out at 11 o'clock this morning and scouted a new piece down the road quite a ways from where I was. The rest of the trip, and it's 90 degrees. It's really hot. Has been since yesterday about lunchtime. It's been way hotter than average. So one thing I was looking for was water, and I was checking over the maps this morning, sitting in the tree, and found a few pieces of water I was interested in. Checked them all out, and one of them looks really good. There's the water's really good and clear. Some of them were green algae looking water. This one's got a clear pond. It's probably 40 yards across. It's down in a bowl, so I'm not too excited about that as far as wind goes, but the wind's been pretty steady today. It's blowing about 10 miles an hour, so I don't think it's gonna swirl much. It is in my favor, so that's another positive. The biggest downside to this sit is there's absolutely no way to get in a tree. As you can tell, I didn't bring any camo pants or leafy wear or anything like that. And I got to set up on the ground within 20 yards of where I hope to shoot it. So I'm hoping he comes out tonight, and I hope he's the only thing that comes out tonight, because if the pond gets filled up with those, I have a real bad feeling that I'm going to get busted. There's a lot of rubs around the pond. As I was walking around it, something fell right next to my boot. There's a persimmon tree right on the pond. So between the water, the persimmon, all the rubs, I mean, everything's coming together right here for this afternoon. And I think the deer are going to hit the water just because of how hot it is. They'll probably be late, so I'm going to have a couple hours of pretty boring time, but we'll get in here and get set up on the ground. I don't know that if something happens, I don't know how good the footage is going to be. There's not even a tree to put the camera arm on, and I'm kind of scared of how bulky it is anyway, being on the ground. So I'm filming all this with a little handy cam and about a 10-inch tripod. So I have no idea how that's going to turn out. I'm just hoping it all comes together tonight. So stick with me. I'll be set up here in about an hour. I hate hunting on the ground. But I think I'm in the best spot if I were to be hunting on the ground at this pond. The wind's in my face. And I think it's going to be a good afternoon. I hope it doesn't fill up with those, because it's going to be really tricky if it does. But I'll show you guys what I'm working with. It's super thick in here. Even the bigger trees you see, if you got up over 10 feet, you couldn't shoot for the smaller trees underneath anyway. Plus you'd be even closer, you'd be within 5 or 10 yards. Right now I'm about 15 to 20 yards max for a shot, so I just hope the wind stays in my face, doesn't start swirling, and we'll see what walks through. Well guys, this afternoon was good and bad all at the same time. It was good in the fact that had him at 60 yards, and another deer got in behind me and jumped up and left. Never did blow, but it was enough to make him lock down. We stood there at a standoff for about 10 minutes and he didn't move. And he eased off, went back up the same trail back to his bedding that he came from. Surprised me, he came out about an hour before dark. It was really early. So I was gonna leave first thing in the morning, but I think I'm gonna stick it out one more day and go back in there and hunt him tomorrow night, and really hope that he does the same thing. I'm gonna adjust. Tonight I was sitting on the ground, mainly because of the wind, but we're supposed to have the same wind tomorrow, but the direction that he's coming from, he's got the wind to his back, which is also surprising. And I'm gonna set up, over there on his trail that he's coming down. There's a persimmon tree down there that another buck came and hit. He was a little too small, and I'm gonna try to set up tomorrow to hunt both the trail that he came down and also to be able to shoot to the persimmon tree. I called my wife earlier and I said, you care if I stay another day? And her response was, do what you love to do. And I absolutely love this. And just want to say a big thank you to her. And I love you. And I appreciate you putting up with me. It's been, I've been gone 3 weekends out of 4 in September. This is my 3rd trip to Kentucky. And she's nothing but supportive of everything that I do. So I just want to say a big thank you to you, Anna, and I love you. And I appreciate you, not giving me crap about doing this like a lot of wives probably would. But I miss her and I miss my little boy. But I'm going to stick it out one more day, see if I can't close the deal on this deer. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, guys, I decided to stay one more day. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm heading back in to this water hole that I was at last night. I looked back over the footage from last night and I didn't get that buck on camera. I was on the ground, scared to death to move. It was at 60 yards and the deer was acting finicky behind me, and he was paying attention to that, so I was scared to grab the camera and try to get him on film, but he's a good deer, good enough to make me stay an extra day. And I'm going back in there to try to kill him tonight. It's in the low 90s right now, so it's really hot. So I'm assuming they're going to hit the water again tonight. That persimmon tree's dropping. Deer were eating that last night too, so between the water and the persimmon tree, I think we'll see deer. I'm just hoping he wasn't boogered enough to not come back in tonight. So I guess we're gonna see. We'll see you guys in the tree. Well guys, as you saw, slick missed that deer. So it was thought the deer was at 50 yards. I aimed, put my pin just right under his vitals to give him a little room to duck. Let it fly, and it soared way under him. And rearranged it, and it was 58. So just a mistake on my part. And the deer came down and got water just like he did last night. I was set up in a bad spot last night, and there's a persimmon tree over to the left, and I really thought that the deer was going to come down there and then turn to his right, my left, and go to the persimmon tree. But after he got done drinking, he stood up, you know, acted like he was going to go right, and I didn't have much window as far as shooting lanes that way. So the deer was really calm. I know 50 yards, in my mind I thought it was 50, but I know that's a long shot, but the deer was super calm, and I felt comfortable with the shot. I just messed up on the yardage, and I'd ranged all over that pond, and I had my yardages in mind, and for some reason I just got that one mixed up. And but I mean, that happens. That's hunting, and a lot of people won't show you stuff like that, but I'm going to, because that's real, and it happens to all of us. And if it hadn't happened to you yet, give it time. I hope it doesn't, but more than likely it's going to. So I feel good about the trip. I mean, I had a good time. I'm just blessed. God's really blessed me with my health and the ability to come out and do this. I love doing it, and it's a blessing to get out here. So I'm going to go back to camp, and I got a special dinner planned tonight. I'm going to have tag soup and a little bit of humble pie. So they go really good together, and that's what I'm eating. So the next time you see me, I'll be back in North Carolina until our Ohio trip, 1st of November. So we'll be chasing deer down there, and it should be exciting. We'll be back at home tomorrow, and we'll see you guys later.